Hey folks, my name is Carl and welcome back to the channel. So if you've ever Googled what salary do I need to live in Toronto, or you've wondered what the popular jobs in Toronto are, then this video is for you. So today I'm breaking down real salary data for 10 of the most popular jobs in Toronto. This has been pulled from actual job listings and 2025 updates. So we're going beyond the averages and we're going to be talking about bottom ranges, the top ranges, and full salary spans. We'll also be talking about the cost of living comparisons and implications, and most importantly, how you can break into each role, especially as a newcomer or a student. Stay tuned. But before we dive into salaries, here's your baseline. Okay, rent for a one bedroom in downtown Toronto or anywhere around Toronto is about $2,400 per month. Now utilities plus internet would cost you maybe an extra $200 to $250 per month. Groceries would cost you probably about $400 to $500 per month. Transit, that's if you're taking the bus and the train system, that would cost you about $150 $6 per month. And miscellaneous like your phone plan, your gym membership, those things can add up to about $300 per month. Right now, that's about $3,500 per month just to survive if you're around the downtown Toronto or the GTA area. Okay, so keep that in mind as we break down each job. Now these are just estimates. It could be much lower for other people, and let's bear that in mind as well. Now the first job that I'm going to talk about is software engineer. Right now, the average salary for a software engineer in Toronto, gathered from real salary data, that's job listings or job postings and the likes, is about $152,000 per year. That's the average, right? But the actual range is around $126,000 per year to $177,000 per year, right? So average 152K, range is 126K to 177K. But the full span, what I mean by full span is, for the entry level roles all the way up to the top level, that full span is from around $62,000 to $500,000. Yes, you heard me right. There are some top level software engineers that are making $500,000 per year. Okay, but if you're going to get in to an entry level role, then you should expect those salary ranges to be around $60,000 or $62,000 per year. Now the cost of living fit. So this salary is very good. It easily supports solo living in Toronto. That's if you are within the average range of 152K. So if you are within that range, you are well above the break-even point. Now, how do you get into the software engineering field? It's a very practical field. So for newcomers, I would say, well, showcase your real world projects on GitHub or freelancing websites. Students, join co-ops, internships, and hackathons and stuff like that. Those also really help. Learn tools like Python, AWS, and the likes. Okay, those help as well. Now, if you do not have a degree, bootcamp grads still get hired. Okay, so you don't necessarily have to put yourself down if you don't have a degree, because those that go for the boot camps and are able to hone their skills and develop their skills, they still get hired if their portfolio is very strong, right? So if you don't have a degree and you're interested in this field, I would say go for it. Okay, now the next popular job that I'm going to be talking about is project manager. Now the average salary for a project manager is from around $109,000 per year, and then the range is from $86,000 to $133,000. That is the range, right? But the average is about $109,000 per year, which is not bad at all. Now the span Again, the span is like from the lowest, so the entry role, all the way up to the senior role. So the span for a project manager is also within the range of $30,000 to $500,000 per year. Yes, so there are some executive project managers that exist that make that much money. Now, what do project managers do? So they coordinate teams, timelines, and budgets across industries or departments. Okay. Now let's look at the cost of living fit for this salary range. Now, it's a great salary for solo renters or families with shared income. It can really be good if people manage their expenses really well. So I would say it's good. Now, how do you get into this project management field? Now, you have to get certified. There are certain certifications that you cannot bypass that would give you that edge in the job market. So you can get the CAPM or the PMP. Now, also you can use transferable experience, to also get into project management roles. Entry jobs, you can take entry jobs like project coordination, scrum master, assistant, and the likes. Those help you to getting their stepping stone to being or becoming a project manager in the long run. So PM or project management jobs exist in tech, in construction, in healthcare, in education. So you don't necessarily need to code. I mean, project management jobs exist in many, many different industries. All right. So that's the second one. Now, the third one that I'm going to be talking about is data analyst. Now, the average salary for a data analyst in Toronto is $104,000 per year. Now, the range is within is between $92,000 per year to $117,000 per year. And the span, so the lowest you can expect for an entry level position is between 54,500 to 170,000. Okay, so for entry level roles, you may see something around $54,000 per year, and for very high end level roles, you can see something around $170,000 per a year. Now, what do they do? The data analysts, they're responsible for analyzing trends to guide business decisions. Okay, that's just a summary of what they do. They look at the data and interpret the data to guide business decisions. Now, if you ask me, the cost of living fit is also very good for this salary range. I mean, it's a strong mid-range salary for living solo or with family. I mean, the average of $104,000 per year is not that bad. Now, how do you get into this field? Okay, first of all, make sure you know how to, or you learn SQL, Excel, or Power BI and the likes, right? Take data and analytics certificates. There's Google, there's Coursera. Those are, the basics, and you can build on from there. You can also start as a junior analyst or in QA or testing roles. Those also become stepping stones to becoming a data analyst. So, I mean, in summary, employers love people who can explain the numbers clearly. So for a data analyst, you're going to be a numbers guy, interpreting the numbers to help make those key business decisions. Now, job number 4 that's pretty popular in Toronto is marketing manager. Marketing manager. Now, the average salary for a marketing manager in Toronto is $122,000 per year. Now, the range itself is between $104,000 to $140,000 per year. Now, the span itself is also from $63,000 per year all the way up to $200,000 per year. So $200,000 would be the very, very top range, and $63,000 per year would be for, many of the entry level roles in this field. Well, what do the marketing managers do? I mean, they lead branding, campaigns, content, and digital ads. Okay, those are some of the things that they do. Now, if you ask me again, this salary is pretty good for cost of living purposes. It's excellent for a small family, or even a single person is even better. I mean, you have plenty of breathing room. So I think I mean that's also a very good salary range. Now, how do you get into this field? Make sure that you build a portfolio through freelancing, nonprofit, or school projects. Those really help. Learn tools like Google Ads, SEO, Canva, HubSpot, and the likes. Okay. Take on entry level jobs like marketing assistant, social media coordinator, all these things. As I've said previously for the other jobs, all these are also stepping stones to becoming a marketing manager. Now, even students, the interesting thing is even students can start building a digital presence from day one. So take advantage of the digital age and show what you can do. Job number 5 is financial analyst. Now, the average salary for a financial analyst in Toronto is around $89,000 per year. The range is actually between $76,000 per year to $103,000 per year. Now, the span is from $50,000 per year to $129,000 per year. So I gave it a range, but it can go as high as $129,000 per year. And for entry-level positions, you can expect something around $50,000 per year. Now, what do financial analysts do? They track budgets, they track trends and forecasts for businesses. So they are more focused on the finance side, similar to a data analyst, but this is more of the budgets, trends, and forecasts for businesses, right? Now, the cost of living fits. So I would say this is comfortable if you're earning between $89,000 or you're earning $89,000 per year in Toronto. That's a pretty comfortable salary. You'd have to budget wisely, okay? You have to budget wisely and not take on any unnecessary debts, okay? I think I'm going to make a video about that and talk about how some newcomers make very big mistakes with regard to debts. Okay, so if your salary is around $89,000 per year, budget wisely and do not take on unnecessary debts. If you have any debts, then you need to even be more careful. Now, how do you even get into this role? Take CFA level 1 of financial modeling courses. You can also start as a junior analyst on accounts assistant and build your skills from there. So brush up on your Excel, SAP, QuickBooks. All these are very important in the Canadian job market. Now, the interesting thing again about this particular job is that financial roles exist in every industry, not just banks. Okay, many people would think about banks, but financial roles exist everywhere, in the tech space, in banks, in healthcare, everywhere, even in regulation, right? So I think it is a very good thing for you to consider if you are interested in such roles. Now, moving on to number 6, product manager. Now, the average salary for a product manager in Toronto is about $148,000 per year. Now, the range itself is between $117,000 and $178,000 per year. Now, the span is between $68,000 all the way up to $286,000 per year. Again, let me remind you, the figures that I'm putting out are actual figures, real figures taken from actual job postings, right? So for people coming into entry-level roles in this kind of position can earn between $68,000 and above, and the very high level roles earn up to about $286,000 per year. So again, product managers, they oversee product life cycle from idea to launch. That's, just summing up what they do. The cost of living fit, I would say that, it's excellent. It's ideal for professionals with experience. If you are living in Toronto, I think you can make do with about $68,000. Again, like I said, for the financial analyst role, you would have to be careful with your budgets, with spending. Do not make or take on any unnecessary debts and stuff like that, right? But I think that with $68,000 per year, it's not bad for a product manager. Mind you, at 68,000, it means that there is more room. You can go as high as $286,000, right? If you get to those senior roles. Now, again, how do you get into this role? If you are interested, well, I would say one of the tips is build a portfolio of research or product specs. Take a course on agile or lean product management. You can apply to associate product manager roles or startups. Those are some of the stepping stones that can help you get there. Now, another tip is you don't probably need to code, right? You just need to understand the tech and the users. So as a product manager, you might not necessarily need to code. Now, number 7, business analyst. Now, the average salary for a business analyst is $94,000 per year. The range is between $75,000 per year to $112,000 per year. The span is from $49,000 per year to $160,000 per year. Now, again, business analysts, they bridge the gap between business needs and tech teams. Okay, so there's business analyst, there's financial analyst, there's data analyst. All these are different roles. Okay, now the cost of living fit, I would say it's above average. $94,000 as average is not bad. You can live solo, you can save, you can invest, live responsibly, and I think you'll be comfortable in Toronto. But how do you even get in? So you need to learn UML, you need to learn Jira, requirements gathering. You need to practice creating wireframes or user stories. So good places to start would be in admin, in QA, or support analyst roles. Okay, those are some good places to start. So an interesting thing about business analysts or business analysis is that the role is growing, right? It's one of the roles that is growing across finance, across healthcare, across tech, and across logistics. Okay, so if you are interested in this role, there you have it. I think you should pursue it. Now, getting to the end, we have operations manager at number 8. The average salary is $105,000 per year, and the range is between $89,000 per year to $121,000 per year. Now, the actual span is from $66,000 per year all the way up to $156,000 per year. So for entry-level roles, you may see something around $66K per year, and for senior roles, it goes all the way up to $156,000 per year. Again, let me remind you, these are real salaries taken or extracted from job postings. So there were job postings that were advertising these salaries. Okay, now the cost of living fit is a great fit for family life or for solo professionals. I think it's pretty good. The average is quite good. You can live comfortably in Toronto. Now, how do you get in? As an operations manager, or to get in as an operations manager, I can say that you can start as an operations assistant or logistics coordinator. Those are some of the roles that become, stepping stones to becoming an operations manager. Now, also, you can also show experience in process improvement or team leadership. Those also help. And you can consider learning, Six Sigma or supply chain certs. Okay, those may also help depending on which um, field you are more interested in. Again, like I said, for the operations manager, jobs exist in tech, in retail, in manufacturing, in regulation, in many other sectors or fields. Okay, so you're not really limited. And again, I'd encourage you to pursue it if you are interested in becoming an operations manager. Number 9, we have an account manager. The average salary is $93,000 per year, and the range is $81,000 per year to $105,000 per year. Now, the span is from 36,000. So you can see that the span for the low point is pretty low, 36,000, all the way up to $157,000 per year. Now, account managers, they manage client relationships, renewals, upsells, stuff like that, right? They handle all of that. Now, the cost of living fit, I would say for this is also solid. I mean, you may get some performance bonuses and stuff like that, especially when you're managing clients and you manage them well, all of that. But just off the average salary, I think that this is also quite solid, and you can live pretty comfortably if you live within your means, right? So how do you get in? I would say build experience in customer success or inside sales, practice pitching and negotiations, use CRMs like Salesforce or HubSpot and the likes. And this is also a role that is good for extroverts and great communicators. Okay, so if you have those attributes, well, you might be good for an account manager. Now, the last one, number 10, is consultants. Now, the average salary for a consultant in Toronto is about $105,000. The range is from $87,000 to $123,000. But the span is from $46,000 all the way up to $300,000 per year. Okay, so starting out, you might see salaries around 46,000, offers around $46,000 per year. But for senior roles, it goes all the way up to $300,000 per year. That is huge. Okay, so consultants advise companies in strategy, finance, IT, or HR. So you can be a consultant in many fields, right? Now, of course, the cost of living is good. There's high potential and high demand. I think that consulting, if you're able to land a consulting role, is one of the good things to do. It's quite rewarding. Now, how do you get in? You can take on entry-level roles like junior consultants or analysts. You can also build a portfolio of insights or case studies from there. You can also learn certain frameworks like SWOT and BCG metrics and presentation tools as well. Now, even government and nonprofits hire consultants. Okay, so many businesses hire consultants, right? Just to put it in perspective for you. So that's number 10. And I think that these 10 jobs are pretty good and can provide you with a very good, cushion in Toronto. If you're living in Toronto, where almost everything is expensive. And that's the deep dive into real salaries for 10 popular jobs in Toronto in 2025. Again, these are real salaries, okay? So whether you are already in Canada or planning your move, the key takeaway is salaries vary, but strategy makes all the difference. Okay, now drop a comment in the comment section below. Which of these jobs are you aiming for in 2025? Like this video, share it with someone job hunting in Canada, and subscribe for more real world content on careers, immigration, and life in Canada. See you in the next one.